Shalom, 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 shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who teach real well. Peace and salutation to the hopeful legs scattered abroad that's out here doing this work in truth and sincerity. Honor Brother Bob from Prophet Babylon camp. Coming at you with another camp, man. Lord willing, this camp is edifying, And, before I go into it, man, as soon as I got out here, man, at this park, there's some people that live nearby, man, and I pulled up. I pulled up and parked my car. They know I do camp here, man, and they had their door open, man, And right before I started, they shut the door, man. That made me look at it like that's the Lord shutting the door, man, because they had an opportunity to get this word, to get this truth, and the Lord just closed the door on them, man. That's how you gotta look at it, man. You try to preach, you try to teach the word of Yahweh Bashim Shai, but it ain't for everybody, man. Everybody not gonna get this life, man. They gonna continue to live in darkness, do whatever they want to do, And then the Lord is coming back for his elect, man, his people, Not all his people though, man. That 1/3, the Lord is coming back for that 1/3, man. I'm gonna go into it. This is you starting to see Trump, man, with these tariffs, man, taxing on goods and stuff, man. It says Trump urges US to hang tough as 10% tariffs come into effect. That's gonna affect everybody, man. Talking about hang tough, man. You see Jay can't afford shit now. He talking about hang tough. This shit gonna get worse and worse, man. And you people want to still continue to thrive here. This place is gonna crumble, man. This is BBC.com news. It says the U.S. began collecting a 10% baseline tariff on all imports on Saturday, as President Donald Trump urges Americans to hang tough after market turmoil, man. How long can you hang tough, man? People already ain't got no damn jobs. You starting to cut a lot of benefits. This place is crumbling, man. Right before our eyes, man. And a lot of you niggas that sleep can't even see it, man. You can't even, turn the TV on and watch the news. Or even get on damn Google and type in news. Everything pops up, man. Nowadays, you can get on the phone and see everything what's going on, man. It says the UK and France are among hundreds of countries impacted, and its leaders have nothing is off the table, while China, which has been hit the hardest by President Trump's tariffs, announced a significant retaliatory response, man. And most of our goods come from China, man. China finna start taxing the U.S., And when China starts taxing the U.S., a lot of things are gonna get expensive for you, man. Like some clothes or, maybe a toy or some shit, man. You always look on these damn toys and say made in China. A damn Slinky toy probably be like, you used to pay $1 for it, probably be like $20 now, man. Shit is about to start getting real, man. And Trump says, hang tough, Americans. Everybody can't hang tough, man. Everybody can't afford that shit, especially Jake. Jake can't afford no high-ass shit, man, like that. Something so simple, you paying $1 to $5. Now you got to pay $20 to $30 for it, man. It says all three major stock indexes in the U.S. plunged more than 5% on Friday. It says with the SP 500 dropping almost 6%, capping the worst week for the U.S. stock market since 2020, man. You know, when COVID happened, man. This is the worst it's been since COVID, man. That just goes to show you, man, that you think everything gonna start to get better, man. No, man. It's gonna start to get worse, man. And it's not even a pandemic, man. You know, it says the worst since 2020 when COVID hit with the pandemic, man. You know, it's gonna get worse, man. You know, it's gonna get worse, bro. Let me jump into the scriptures. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 6. It says, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet." You know, all these things must come to pass, bro. You know, these pestilence, famine, you know, all earthquake, you know, all these things must come to pass, man. You know, we watching, we see what's going on, man. It says that ye be not troubled, man. Don't worry about it, man. Because these things have to happen, man. You know, in order for us to get to the kingdom, man, you know, these things must happen, man. We gonna catch hell, man. It is what it is. You know, it says, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famine and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows," man. Right, man. Just like I was going into it last week, man. You know, you had that earthquake over there in Myanmar, you know, not too far from Bangkok, man. You know, it showed you how many people died, man. You know, that's just the beginning of sorrows, man. You know, that shit gonna get worse, man. You know, the Lord is starting to show you niggas who he is, man. You know, the Lord is in all love, man. The Lord is a man of war. You know, the Lord is gonna utterly destroy you niggas, man. You niggas that wanna live it up here, go ahead. Go ahead, man. You know, the Lord might be saving your ass for a nuke, man, or a horrendous death. You know. We'll grab we'll go to the book of Mark. Mark chapter 3. This is Mark chapter 3. I'm gonna start at verse 23. It says, "And he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan?" You know, how these devils gonna cast each other out, man? You can't cast one devil out and another devil come in the power. Nah, man. That's not gonna happen. You know. That's these devils' time, man. They time is up, man. It's time for the righteous to be in power, man, and rule forever. It says, "And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand." You know, and you see Esau's kingdom utterly being destroyed, man. You know, you see the things that's going on here, man. You know, Esau's kingdom is being destroyed, man. It says, "And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself, he cannot, and be divided, he cannot but have an end." You know, and that end is coming soon, man. You know, we see it. You know, scriptures say, "Measure the time diligently in itself, and then shall the end come." I'm gonna grab it. This is alright. Hey. This is this is the book of Second Esdras chapter 9 verse 1. It says, he answered me then and said, measures thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, man. You know, in our past lives, man. You know, this happened before. You know, we see the signs, man. You know, we measure in the times. You know, we know that the Lord is coming back soon, man. Do we know the exact day? No, man. But we know the Lord is coming back soon for his elect, man. You know? It says, and be divided, and he cannot stand but hath an end, man. You know, you damn devils, y'all time is up, man. You know, that's why y'all starting to come down with a grave wrath, man. Y'all know y'all time is coming. I'm gonna grab that scripture too. This is Revelations chapter Revelation chapter 12 verse this is Revelation chapter 12 verse 12. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time, man. You know, these devils know they ain't got much longer, man. You know, they know they ain't got much longer. So Trump said, hey, hang tough America. You know, that just goes to show you, man. We in those end times, man. You know, and it's time to repent and come back to the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai in truth and sincerity, man. You know, that's the only way out of here, man. Through the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, bro. You're not saving your damn self, man. You can't. How you gonna save yourself in another man's kingdom, man? Your enemy's kingdom. How you gonna save yourself in your enemy's kingdom, man? You gotta have the higher power looking out for you, man, guiding your steps, man. You know, and that's what the Lord is doing for his elect. The Lord is guiding the elect's steps, man. You know, to safety. You know, to the chariot, man. The Lord is directing the elect's path to the chariot, man. I'm gonna go back to the book of Matthew. This is Matthew chapter 12, verse 25. It says, and Yahushua knew their thoughts, and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, man. You know, America ain't gonna be worth a damn, man. You know, America is so deep in debt, you know, and most everything comes from other countries, man. You know, because, you know, Nike has this factory that, you know, they pay these people like $2-3 an hour, man. You know, that's what Nike get most of their products from, man, overseas. Cause they know if you try to charge somebody that amount here, you know, that's slavery, man. That's hardcore bondage, man. People not gonna work for no damn $2-3 over here like they will over there, man. So that just goes that just goes to show you right there, man. You know, this place is in a shithole, man. It says, in every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. Right, man, we keep on seeing this repeated and repeated in the scriptures, man. You know, it can't stand, man. A house against Satan against Satan. You know, the house won't stand, man. You know, it's gonna get weaker and weaker, man. And why you got two devils fighting over the same pie, you got somebody else coming in and gonna take it from both of them, man. You know, that's gonna be the righteous men of Yahweh Shem Shai, man. The Lord is coming back, man. The Lord is coming back to take it from you devils, man. You're not gonna have it no more, man. You know, you treated the world like it was nothing, man. You know, you polluting everything. You know, you polluting the water, the animals. You're a damn cancer here, man. You know. Let me grab that. If the Lord didn't shorten the times, man, no flesh shall be saved, man. This is the book of Matthew. Matthew chapter 24. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 22. It says, and except those days be shortened, there should be no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened, man. You know, if the Lord wasn't coming back for the elect, man, when nothing here be safe, man. Because you damn devils, man. Anything you touch, it dies, man. You know, that's why you see so many damn animals going extinct, man. Cause you damn devils, man. You know, you don't know how to take care of anything, man. You know, you just moving on your own accord, man. This is I'm gonna go to the book of 1 Thessalonians. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. This 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, I'm gonna start at verse 2. It says, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape, man. You know, you ain't gonna be able to escape from this, man. You know how this devil is, man. You know, they'll tell you something is good, but really they hiding something, man. You know, they say, oh no, everything gonna be all right, everything gonna be good. The whole time they just trying to make you feel good, you know, not telling you the truth. Just like these Christian churches, man. They're not telling you the truth. They're just telling you what you want to hear to make you feel good, you know, for the moment. Then here comes the boom, you know, and you don't even realize it, man. You know, but we know what's going on, man. We know when you say everything is gonna be all right, man. It's really the total opposite, man. You know that, and that's these damn devils for you, bro. They tell you, oh, everything gonna be good, everything gonna be all right. It says, sudden destruction come upon them. You know, just like, you know, these damn women, you know, when they have a baby, man. You know, at first, you know, you got the contractions, you know, and then boom, that pain just come, man. You know, we know what's coming, man. I'm gonna skip down to verse 5. Well, actually, I'm gonna go to verse 4. It says, but ye, brethren, are not in darkness, that day should overtake you as a thief. Right, man. We not in darkness, man. You know, we not turning the other cheek, man. You know, we measuring the time diligently in itself. You know, we see the things that's happening, man. You know, When the Lord comes back, we know the Lord is coming back soon, man. You know? It says should not overtake you as a thief, man. You know? You know how we right here at the door, man. You know, watching. We don't know the exact time, but we watching, man. You know, that's how we are in the spirit, man. You know, waiting on the Lord to come back, man. Because we know when the Lord come back, it's time to go home, man. You know, it's time for the Lord to destroy this place, and it's time to go home, man. Forever. You know, men are the Lord are the men of the Lord are never gonna taste death, man. You know, it says ye are the children of light and the children of the day. We are not of the night nor of darkness. Therefore let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober, man. You know, we out here watching, man. We out here prophesying, man. You know, brothers, you got brothers all over the world, man, prophesying. Highways and hedges, social media, you know, YouTube, whatever, man. Brothers out here being watchmen of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshai. You know, for the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshai, man. You know, brothers ready to go home, man. I know I am. You know, we will never be at peace here, man. I'm gonna go to the book of 2 Thessalonians. No, Salakia, not 2 Thessalonians. 2 Corinthians, Salakia. 2 Corinthians chapter 5, man. It's 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 11. You know, it says, knowing therefore the terror of the Lord, we persuade men, but we are made manifest unto Yahweh Shem Yahshai, and I trust also are made manifest in your countenance. Right, man, you know, knowing the terror of the Lord, man, we persuade men, you know, because we know what the Lord will do. You know, if we're not out here doing it, man. If you're not out here preaching the word of Yahweh Shem Yahshai, and you know it, man, you know the Lord got something for your ass, man. You know, that's blood upon your hands, bro. You know, if you're not out here prophesying, you know, telling the folks the truth, man. We out here telling our people the truth. We out here telling everybody the truth, man. You know, what's gonna come to this place and what's gonna come to you if you don't wake up, man. You know, it was a car that just came out here, man. You know, they seen me out here, man, and they closed their door and left, man. That's a sign, man. That just goes to show you, man. You know, you choosing life or you choosing death, man. You know, this man literally got out of the car. This man literally rolled past, looked at me, parked his car right there, got out the car, looked at me, and heard what I was talking about, and got back in the car and drove off, man. You know, that's the Lord closing these niggas' ears, man. He don't want no ordinary niggas coming in here, man. You know, he want true men. You know, men that's gonna stand on principles, man. You know, all these men not gonna stand on principles when it's nut cutting time, man. You know, these niggas gonna tuck their tail and run. You know, they ain't gonna stand on their business like a man, man. You know, Tawadi, how about Shem Yahshai, man? You know, cause that just goes to show you, man, this truth is not meant for everybody, man. You know, the men of the Lord gonna live and you other niggas gonna die, man. It is what it is. You gonna die, man. You gonna die here. And the Lord might make y'all ass die a horrendous death, man. You can't play with the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahshai, man. It says, knowing the terror of the Lord, we persuade men, but we are made manifest unto Yahweh Shem Yahshai, man. We out here pleading, man. You know, we ready to go home, man. We trying to wake up the elect, man. You know, Yahweh Ratazah, we be up that elect, but we out here trying to wake other brothers up, man. It's that time. It's time to go home, bro. You know, when you at school all day and that bell ring to go home, you got motherfuckers jumping out the seat to go home, man. That's how we are, man. We jumping out that seat ready to go get on the bus and go to the house, man. And that bus is that chariot, man. We wait on that chariot to go to the house, man. We ready to go home, bro. You know? It's like it, man. I'm gonna go, I'm gonna grab, go to the book of Matthew. Matthew chapter 4. This is Matthew chapter 4, verse 19. It says, and he said unto them, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. Right, man. We out here casting, man. We out here casting this word out, man. Hoping to catch that clean fish, man. You know? We ain't out here trying to catch no damn catfish, man. We trying to catch bass, you know, brim, white perch or something. You know, we trying to catch clean fish, man. We trying to catch that elect, man. You know how you'll catch a catfish. You know you can't eat him. You gotta throw that fish back, man. You know, and that's you know you niggas that fall out the truth, man. You niggas got caught. You know the word caught your eye. You came in, but you was a bad fish, man. You was a damn catfish, man. So the Lord had to throw your ass back into the world where all the rest of these niggas at, man. You know, that's how it is, man. I'm gonna go to the book of Luke. Luke chapter 14. Luke chapter 14, verse 23. It says, and the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai said unto the servant, go out unto the highways and hedges and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled, man. You know? And that's us hitting these highways and hedges, man. Like I said, man, you got brothers all over the world doing this, man. You got brothers on Saturday, every day of the week, man. Not necessarily just on Saturdays, man. You got brothers that go out on Friday, on Sunday, on Monday, any day of the week, man. Their brothers ain't got to work. You know, some brothers have their own camps, man. You know, 2 or 3 brothers go out, you know, and prophesy, man. You know, that's our job, man. That's our duty, man. It says, and compel them to come in, man. Right, man. We reading this straight out of the Bible, man. You know, we not making this up. This is the Lord's words, man. You know, we're reading the Lord's words. It says, and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled, man. You know, the Lord has 144,000 seats, man, that need to be filled. You know, I know I want to be in one of them seats, man. You know, and if you can be saved, man, you know, from the hell that's coming to this place, why not come into this life, man? Come into this truth. You know, we're not out here for money. We're not out here to lead you astray. You know, we don't get any benefits off this, man. You know, not on this side anyway, man. You know, we don't get paid to come out here. You know, we out here for the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, man. We know how we gonna get paid, man. You know, we trying to have that seat, man. You know, of that 144,000, man. We want that seat. We don't give a damn if it's the last seat on the bus, man. On that chariot, we don't care. We still up out of here, man. You know. This is I'm gonna grab verse 24 too, man. Some heat too. It says, for I say unto you that none of those men which were biting shall taste of my supper, man. And that's something to keep in mind, man. You not even gonna taste some of you niggas not even gonna taste it, man. you know? And when you come into this truth, man, it's a sign of relief, man. You know, the Christian church tell you, oh, you live a good life, you're going to go to heaven. Oh, you going to live a bad life, you're going to go to hell. Man, that's straight bullshit, man. You know, when you come into this truth, man, it's a sign of relief because you know, Israel is going to be saved, man, no matter what. You know, 2/3 going to have to be cut off and die. But that 1/3, man, we fighting to be that 1/3, man. You know, the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yashai, man. These people just continue to ride by, man. You know? It's like they don't want to hear the Lord's word, man. You know? They see you and turn the other cheek, man. So that's exactly what the Lord is gonna do to them, man. When they calling upon JC, who that was you was calling upon, man? What's the name you were calling upon? Oh, it's too late now. You know, it's too late to call upon the Lord, man. The Lord ain't dealing with you. You know, when it was time, you know, when the Lord had a grace period for you, you know, you weren't trying to call upon that name then. You know, that's Jake for you, man. They don't want to call upon the Lord until they get in trouble, man. The Lord ain't dealing with that shit, man. This is I'm gonna go to the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 9. It's 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 16. It says, "For though I preach the gospel, I have nothing to glory of." Right, man. You know, even though it's nothing to glory of, man. Because this is what we're supposed to be doing, man. You know, just like you go to job, you go to work, you know, that's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to provide for your family, man. You don't get no damn no sticker on the refrigerator for doing that, man. That's what you're supposed to do. That's your duty as a man, to serve the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yashai, man. To hit the highways and hedges, do your videos, man. That's our fucking job, bro. It says, "For necessity is laid upon me, yeah, woe is unto me if I preach not the gospel," man. Woe and destruction unto me if I don't preach the gospel. That's just like going to work, man. Well, if you don't go to work, you're not gonna get paid, and shit gonna go downhill from there. That's just like with serving the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yashai, man. We have to do it. This is our job. This is how we get paid in our spiritual bank account, man. We want to be on that chariot, man. You know, we want to be of the Lord's elect. That's our job to do. That's our reasonable service, is to serve the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahushai in truth and sincerity, man. You know, you niggas don't realize that, man. You dedicate your entire lives to try to be something great here, man. To achieve worldly things. Why not do the same for Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man? You know, we gotta lose our lives on this side to gain it on the other side, man. You know, roughly paraphrasing, man. It says, "Woe unto me if I preach not the gospel," man. Destruction, man. You know. I'm gonna grab this last. I'm gonna go to the book of Hebrews. Hebrews chapter 6. It says, it's Hebrews chapter 6, verse 10. It says, "For Yahweh Bashim Yahshai is not unrighteous to forget your works and labor of love, which ye have showed toward his name, in that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister," man. You know, the Lord ain't gonna forget your works, man, of what you did for him, man. You know, unless you completely, you know, stop doing the work of the Lord, man, you were never truly in this, man. You know, but if you hold it fast, you know, till the Lord Yahweh Bashim Yahshai comes back, man, you know, the Lord not gonna forget your work, man. The Lord sees what you're doing for him, man, and for his people, man. You know, the Lord ain't the Lord gonna bless you, man. You know? But man, that's pretty much the point on this camp, man. You know, Lord willing, you will edify, man, until next camp. Abba, shalom, shalom.